Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Fishbowl. As always, it's me and my lovely friends here today. Introducing myself, Squid. Hello. And our lovely friend Manatee.
Yellow.
Our bombastic friend Barracuda.
Welcome back to the Fishbowl, people.
And our silly Stingray.
I like gushers.
This is true. Gushers are a good thing. Anywho, welcome back to our Fishbowl where we discuss topics from our bowl of topics. It's great. With that, I'm going to pass it on to Manatee to explain our usual rules.
Yes. So what happens is our main man, Barracuda, will go for the topic of the day, and we just discuss how we feel about this topic. You know, it could be a happy time, it could be a sad time. Who knows what's gonna happen in here? We could talk about one topic and then we spring on for another. Speaking of the fishbowl, Barracuda, may you please show us what topic we talk about today?
Of course, my dear friend Manatee. Also, can I just say I haven't had a gusher in like forever.
I have
You gotta get some gushers, this guy.
I know. I'd say my grandmother, who is diabetic and needs to be watch her diet.
Mm-hmm.
And
She just ordered and received 12 large boxes of gushers, and her reasoning is, oh, what if the grandkids or what if my son or daughter come over and they like them, so I should have some. It's like, but you don't. They can. We're all able to get our own, but they don't need them.
Oh.
So, in a way to try to help minimize it so she doesn't snack on them, and spike. I have a packet right now. And these are sour kinds.
Ooh, I haven't had the sour kind.
before I open it, let's play a game. What do we think it is on here?
I think it's gonna be like Sketch.io. Do we even have Sketch.io in there?
I believe so. I don't
Yeah.
even remember what I put in here. The only most
There's
recent
so
one
many
I did
topics.
was our topic we brought up yesterday.
You know, here's my guess. It's gonna be our first next video topic.
Ooh.
I'm calling it. It's gonna be our first one, which is gonna. I'm guessing our drinking game.
For our audience, next video topics are topics that we have that would not work for our current episode, so it would get shelved into next week. And we pick a new topic for this week.
Yeah, so, for example, the one that I'm thinking of is one where we will each need to grab some form of adult beverage, and we would be watching some kind of movie or something and reacting to certain stimuli that would cause us to take a drink. Or we might just start off a little bit in our system.
The topic is under the influence, that's what it's called. And it's not necessarily because there are some of us who don't drink. For me, I don't like drinking like that, so I will be getting high out of.
Real.
And that's perfectly fine.
And our topic. Oh, Barracuda, you want to take a guess?
Barracuda, you just called yourself
Barracuda.
out.
You are Barracuda.
You're correct. I meant Manatee, but in this case, I'll say Barracuda. I say it's anime. I'm gonna just say it's anime.
I'm gonna guess it is roommates.
Ooh. That would be such a fitting topic in life right now.
Chopped.
Oh,
That's
the
one we just put in last night.
That's really funny.
So it is a. So technically, you were correct, Stingray. It is a next week topic.
Okay. So this one, Chopped, how it's going to work is we will get together and we will assign each of us, someone will assign one or the other, 3 random ingredients that they have to use to make something. So, for example, watermelon, Jim Dean alcohol, and then let's see, gushers actually, You gotta make a dish that incorporates all three in some way.
You know, I was gonna say, what are the odds that we pull a brand new topic? But we've done that before. We added a bunch of new topics, like I think 2 weeks ago,
Hmm.
and we literally pulled a new topic that next time.
That is true. That was Phenocracy, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Phenocracy. It was either the very next video after we put them in, or the second video after we put them in.
Mm-hmm.
Either
So
way,
it's bound to happen, considering I shake this thing up all the time, and like how deep I go. It's bound to happen.
all right. Well,
Well, that gets shelved. So next week, you guys will see. The next week we'll cover Chopped, and we will go through, talk about what items we assigned for each person. We'll talk about the experience of doing that dish, and you'll also get clips of us, if we can figure out how to do it, of us cooking.
at the very least, you will see images of the final products.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I gotta poll again then?
Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah.
our first double pool.
Woohoo.
This is monumental.
Yeah.
I gotta say I'm excited for Chopped. I think this is gonna be really freaking fun.
Me too.
Yeah.
I also think it's gonna be chaotic as hell.
Oh. Yeah. I feel like we're gonna be nice to Squid, but the rest of us are gonna be just brutal because we've mentioned it before. Me, Manatee, and Barracuda met at a culinary school.
Before I pull this, what do we do if I pull another wait till next week?
I will
You do it
say
again.
it just immediately goes back in to be, and we draw once more. We get a current topic.
All right,
Mhm.
and here we go. Ooh, this is also another recent one, actually. We're pulling the recents. Natural landmarks.
Ah.
Oh. Now, I remember when we talked about that one. It started off as
What
a
about-
conversation after a video where we actually started talking about the Ring of Fire.
Oh yes.
What's with the recent ones we're pulling? Like, we have so many good old ones that are just like.
I know. And we made like 30 something old original ones. But I don't even think we've made gotten into the double digits of new topics yet. So we should still be near 30 on the old original ones.
I think so. But anyway, yeah, natural landmarks. Ring of Fire. Tell us about that, Stingray.
Well, it's actually the most active circle of volcanoes, and it is within the Pacific Ocean. Or is it the Atlantic? I always mix the oceans up, okay? I'm sorry, people.
The Pacific.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, all the oceans are connected, so the ocean is an ocean.
Yep.
Big. It's true.
Aren't we
Pacific
all
is right.
one
Manatee is very good at geography.
Aren't we all just one
Nope,
big blue?
that's not what I meant.
connected
Sorry, folks.
world?
But does that mean that all continents are islands?
Technically, yes. Here we go. Here's a image of the Ring of Fire for everyone. As you can see, it follows
We got it.
along the whole western coast of the United
yeah.
States and down almost the whole western coast of the South Americas.
Yeah.
And those are all volcanoes.
Yep. That's the most active volcanic line in the world, and it's part of the reason
It's
why
kind of like-
California is known for earthquakes. It's a giant
It's usually, I
fault
think,
line.
like- Yeah. No, like I feel like Japan has like I'm just gonna say because they have a lot of earthquake preventive infrastructure. So do some parts of California. But like pagodas are already now from the way they've initially designed. Those are already earthquake proof and not proof, but like they can handle it much better than most buildings. However, because like sometimes these volcanic eruptions can take place underwater, that's what can cause earthquakes
Tsunamis.
to happen on land.
And don't
Yeah,
forget, tsunamis are also a
tsunami.
result of them as well.
That
Actually,
is true.
I didn't
What's the
realize this, but New Zealand is smack dab in the middle of it. And when you look down at the bottom, it's fully in the area.
It's
And
true.
for those people who love their fantasy movies like Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, that is where Hobbiton is actually built and that all those scenes were recorded there. And in fact, it is still standing to this day and is now a thing you can go and visit. And you can see all the fun, unique tricks and they use, like making two of the same houses, but one small and one large to create that forced perspective of the hobbits versus the normal human Gandalf.
Stupid question.
Mm.
But that country song, Ring of Fire, is it based on this, or am I just an idiot?
You
You
wouldn't be
know?
an idiot. I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean, we can look it up.
Johnny
We have
Depp.
Google.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, what was I gonna say else with volcanoes? I had another thing. Oh, who does anyone know the signs of a tsunami? What it looks like before it hits? When you're on a
Receding
beach?
ocean.
Yep, that's
That is
Yep.
true. It recedes very extremely, so you will notice. And
that is
Pat, if you
why
notice that,
that is why for a long time tsunamis were so deadly. It's because most people didn't realize that was a sign, and they'd go out, find all the pretty shells and stuff that you usually can't find,
hmm
and then all of a sudden, there's a 150-foot tall wave on them. Now, granted, when it hits landfall, it's half the height. They just went that far out into the normal water-covered ocean that it's like twice the height.
that's actually exactly why I brought it up. So not everyone knows that. I'm like, hey, this is probably an information that we should have. So yes, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
No, thankfully, I think I
yeah, I mean,
Ugh.
nope, I do not like that.
It's freaky, right? Because the ocean is already such a powerful and kind of thing. It's like it's beautiful, but it's at the same time it can be so dangerous if you don't know what you're doing or if you're not careful. Like I know, like riptides are really dangerous. It looks like those will appear as calm portions of water near the shore, but that can suck you in really fast and pull you under. If I remember correctly, it's best not to struggle against it to let it take you back out because it will at least resurface you. But still very scary.
Yeah,
The
no, the
ocean is
ocean.
a benevolent mistress. She can be kind to you or ruthless to you.
Yeah, no, the ocean's a
It's
terrifying thing.
And she's a goddess of mystery.
No, like between flying and taking a cruise ship, I think I'd rather just take flying and a quick death rather than whatever can happens on the ocean.
Well, I'll
See,
say
I like
this.
a cruise.
There are some cruises that actually that stay near the coast. Like if you go on an Alaskan cruise, it's
Uh-huh.
also meant to be glacier watching. So you are not that far from the coast of the ocean of Alaska. There we go. My God.
No, that's true. It's more like at least on the East Coast we have a lot of hurricanes and stuff, and if you've ever like seen a hurricane on the ocean, you can see how like vicious that can get.
Yeah.
And sometimes just like things happen or you lose communication and like, oh, I don't know. I feel like it's just a much more gruesome and painful death to experience if I had to like pick one or the other. At least, so I'm not particularly fond. But
Yeah. No.
oh, no, I have some family going on a cruise soon,
I mean-
so maybe I should not say these things and freak myself out.
No.
Well-
The cruise ships are fine. The cruise ships
Yeah.
are fine.
I'll,
They're-
I'll, I'll tell you this. I've been on a
they're all
cruise ship
weird.
before, and even
Uh-huh.
though the sea seemed a little rough, the cruise ship is so stable.
Mhm.
One, none of us realized when we took off. You couldn't tell. And two,
Really? That's
yeah,
crazy.
that's how stable it is. And whenever the sea seemed like it got a little rougher, you still couldn't really feel the movement of the boat. And this is
Well,
and you know how tall those things are, so a little movement down by the water would make a big difference up at the top deck. You really didn't feel it in the top deck.
yeah. So like while on a cruise ship, they have stabilizers within the ship itself. So like a lot of times while you're in like rough seas or whatever, unless you're like really close to the water or like looking at it, you could you probably will feel it, but if you're in it or around, you probably won't feel it at all.
But yeah, no.
That is interesting. Okay.
I'll say this though,
Less freaky than I thought.
the most eerie thing though about a cruise ship
Mhm.
is not anything about the water movement or anything underneath. It's the night. Depending on where you
Mm.
are, especially if it's a cloudy night, there's not much light out there. So
Uh-huh.
you just look out and it's just an endless void of darkness. You're staring into the abyss, is what it can feel like.
That is really interesting. The thing is, I like liminal spaces, so I feel like I would enjoy that.
I want to see. On a cruise ship, I always want to see like a dolphin just jumping out of the water. Oh, I
Have
don't
you
know why.
done whale watching?
Oh,
You?
yes.
Yeah, you're more likely
Funny
to.
story.
Go
I
ahead.
I have
went.
not.
I
I would like
went.
to. No, I'm kidding.
I went whale watching a couple times, but I went fishing once with my dad,
Uh-huh.
and while we were fishing, we also got a glimpse of whales.
Oh,
Starlight.
do you
So
know
we
what
got a
kind of
2-for-1.
whales?
That actually reminds me of whenever I went on a family trip to Hawaii back in April. I think it was April.
Mhm.
Um, we were going on a. The thing was stated as like as a possible whale watching thing, but it wasn't just that. It was also a bunch of other sea creatures along the coast of Hawaii, and we got to see a lot of things. And one thing that we actually got to see though was a baby humpback whale. But here's the thing:
Oh, that's
this
amazing.
this was during the time that the whale should have left, but it was at the time they just should have left. So this one mother whale just conceived and gave birth a little bit later than the rest of the other whales. And
Uh-huh.
a way to tell how young a whale is and how strong it is, if it's able to, how close it is to being able to make the trek back to their normal habitat,
Mm-hmm.
is you look at the dorsal fin. When they're born, those
Oh.
dorsal fins are just flat against them, but over time they will slowly straighten up and harden.
That is really cool.
And I'll let you know this: during this whole time period, essentially, from once the humpback whale mother starts her trip down until she goes back after giving birth, she doesn't eat.
I forgot about that. You're
And
right.
and don't forget, whales are mammals, meaning
Yeah,
they breastfeed.
Yep.
So
this is true.
and so during this whole time that they are giving them nutrients from their own body, they are not eating. It's yet
Well,
they can still
that-
make the trip. It's fascinating.
Well,
Whales
the-
are kind of crazy creatures.
Does anyone else think it's weird? Like, if you like, I cannot picture the breast of a whale. Like, my brain cannot think of it.
I feel like
Well-
it's more of a flat part.
Yeah, I don't think it's necessarily called. I don't think it's actually called a breast of the whale, but they milk. They actually feed their young calves milk. So
Well, I
Did
guess
you-
for the answer about like why the females don't eat is probably because like I know for the East Coast, they'll come up here, they'll fill up as much of the nutrients in the waters here,
yes, and then they make the
and they'll
trip.
fill their stuff up and they'll move down south for the mating ground.
That is exactly how they described it. They will stuff themselves, get themselves all ready, and then they make their trek down, and either right as they conceived or they conceive on the way, and then they tend to get down there close to birth. At least that's what I
Even
think
like a
they said.
bear,
Well,
like a
don't
bear.
forget, you're on the East Coast. This is in Hawaii, off the West Coast. So I don't know. Are you talking about humpback whales?
Yeah, I'm talking about humpbacks.
Okay, then they probably it's the same. I might not remember correctly.
Yeah, I remember when they were talking about it on one trip, they were talking about how like our waters are filled with like micronutrients and stuff that are great for the whales, so that they'll feed up here with the nutrients as much as they can before heading down south for like the breeding.
Yep. Yeah, but it was definitely cool and fun to actually get to see this whale calf that should have left, but it just was a little bit late, but in the season, but not like concerningly late either.
Speaking of like milk, did you guys know that pigeons make milk?
Yes, it's so interesting. Did you hear this from Hank Green?
Wait a minute,
I
that's
did
weird.
not. I did not. Remember how a long time ago we were discussing weird animals like the ocean, and I mentioned the wild crab?
Yep.
That's how. That's how I learned that pigeons make milk from that show.
Wasn't that our first episode?
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow. This is episode 11. My God, we've been doing this for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of, while we're still on the topic of milk, platypus don't have nipples or breasts, but how they feed their young with their milk is they sweat it through
Yep.
their armpits.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Really? Have you not watched Phineas and Ferb?
Well, I knew that they lactated. I didn't know how they.
Phineas and Ferb had an old episode where Perry and Candace
Wait,
swap
where's
bodies.
Candace is the platypus and she sweats milk? I forgot.
Yep.
Here's the thing I want to point out, though.
Mm-hmm.
By Phineas and Ferb logic, Perry is a female.
Yeah. Not only did he sweat milk, they believed he laid an egg. But here's another thing. If I remember correctly, I think I saw something where only males have the poisonous barb, I think.
They
do.
do. And only females sweat the milk.
Yep, Perry had both. Perry had both.
The continuity is skewed here.
It's a TV show.
Listen. Perry is built different.
Yeah.
Perry is the best agent because he's so talented at all platypus skill and ability.
He's a platypus. He doesn't do much.
Exactly.
Which is ironic because if you look at the abilities of platypus, they are the most diverse ability-wise of all the animal kingdom. They have electrosense. They can see in the dark. They have a poisonous barb. They can lay an egg, which is only one other mammalian species can do. Like, it's ironic that his whole thing is they don't do much, when in truth, they do an incredible amount.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
But actually, I'll say this. Did you know that Perry is actually scientifically accurate with his color?
No. Oh wait, is it because I forgot? Okay, I'll
yeah, no.
I think
It's just funny because it's like I was scrolling through TikTok a couple years ago and I found Dan Povenmire, the creator of Phineas and Ferb, who also is the voice of Doofenshmirtz, which I didn't find out till I found his TikTok. He was freaking out because they found that under certain lights that a platypus glows almost the exact same color as Perry the platypus. It is almost as if he created this and the world's collective consciousness willed it to be real.
But back on the topic of natural landmarks, I feel like I have to talk about this considering of where I'm from. Niagara Falls. I am from Buffalo, so.
Oh. Actually,
yeah,
it's fitting for me too. I'm actually Canadian. If none of you have realized it, my grandmother was from Canada.
You don't apologize enough.
Sorry about that. I'm only a quarter at most.
Then you should apologize a quarter most than you already do.
You realize I apologize more than anyone else here, though.
Then, I don't know, talk about maple syrup hockey beavers.
But yeah. Have you been actually into the waters of Niagara Falls?
Trying to think. Because I did go fishing recently. No. Because where I went fishing, while it's a river that leads to Niagara Falls, it is not an actual the Niagara Falls. No.
Okay.
You get some fish?
I've been to Niagara Falls, but I never went in the water.
Did you
And
go
no,
down to the bottom where like you're in the rock area next to the falls, getting all the mist, or the boat that goes in down there?
No, because we went in like the winter and it was too cold for us to do that.
Okay, fair.
This was when I first arrived in Buffalo, and I had a friend in the area that was like, "You're new to Buffalo, we should take you to Niagara Falls."
All right.
Mhm.
I've been to Niagara Falls twice, and both times involved going to visit the distant relatives in Canada. First time I went, I was, I don't know, 12 maybe, probably younger. But we went and we got onto the Canadian side of Niagara Falls and looked through some of their things. But then, when I was probably 17 or 17 or 18, right before, it was not long before I came up to New York for college, we went again. You know, I actually might have been more like 8 whenever I went the first time. But either way, we went again, but this time we went onto the American side of the falls. Both of them have their own museums and stuff that depict and tell stories of people who went over the falls. Most did not come out all right.
Hmm.
But I still got some ponchos from when we did that. It's just like, you know what, they're good, they're useful. Made sure they're dry.
Yes.
I made sure they're dry, because these are the just throwaway plastic ones. And I just rolled them up and stuck them in the door of my car, so if it ever starts pouring on me randomly as I'm driving, I have that in there if I need to get out.
We love that. We love reusing ponchos so you don't get drenched again. Important.
Yeah. Huh. Manatee. Squid. Is there any kind of fun land formation that you can think of?
Ooh. Definitely, like, I think what comes to mind first is Old Faithful out in
Yellowstone?
yeah, out in Yellowstone. I got to see that when I was younger. Getting to see all the like geysers as well as just like hot springs there and the bacterial formations was really, really cool, and it's kind of crazy how colorful they can be. Super neat. That's one that comes to mind for me. And also just like the fact that there's less light pollution out there and the amount of stars you can see is much better than you can in any like more densely populated area. Isle of Skies, if you really wanted to see someplace that had like no light pollution, you go to Isle of Skye.
That sounds fun.
Uh,
I would love to see the Northern Lights.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, I would love to see the Northern Lights. My
Oh.
friend went to Finland and got to see it when they were hiking one time.
Oh, I wish. I would love
Right?
also to go to Egypt and see the pyramids.
Oh, that would be so neat.
Mm-hmm. Although those aren't natural.
That is true, but
Natural. They're a mystery in itself.
Yep, but we do know that they were somehow man-made.
No,
Or
mystery
alien
is
made if
what's
you
in them,
believe in that.
because no matter what, there's always something hidden. But
Yep.
natural, I think. Hold on. Oh, natural. I think Virginia Falls. No, Victoria Falls. Victoria Falls. There you go. I want to see those in Zimbabwe.
Zimbabwe?
Mm.
Zimbabwe?
What's in Zimbabwe that you want to see?
Victoria Falls.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sleepy.
I'm so
Victoria
sleepy.
Falls.
I thought you were
Wake
squid.
up. Wake up!
Here, I want to send you something. So, if we're talking about weird natural landmarks, there is a forest in Poland called the Crooked Forest.
Because they got
And
crooked.
this is how 90% of the trees grow.
They're crooked, aren't they? No, absolutely
Oh,
not.
they grow like a fish hook.
Oh, this is gonna be freaky.
Why?
Absolutely.
I know I've seen some
Oh,
things of like trees
funky.
growing weird shape because like high winds pushed them over, and when they hardened, they created weird curves.
There's
But
some place near
so
me that
many
has
like
similar
them
trees
like
like
that.
this.
See, I'm
Huh.
okay with some trees, not 90% of them. Nope. Mm-mm. Nope.
I'd be chilling, me and a book and some tea.
Yeah, those are,
Party.
Though they'd be a great chair. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, exactly.
they would be.
But here's the thing: it'd be one thing if they were trees that grow like that typically, but this grove is specifically these trees that have an unnatural growth. They're pine trees. They're
Pine, you
they're
as
the
in
same.
like what we use as a Christmas tree.
Correct. In all seriousness, they should just be straight up, straight as an arrow pine trees. But for some reason, they grow like that. Now, whether you believe it or not, apparently they noticed the tree starting to grow this way after a supposed UFO sighting back like in the early 1800s.
That is freaky. Dude, why do you gotta bring something weird like abduction, like things that involve abductions into this? I'm not kidding. I don't, I don't like creepy horror stuff usually, but recently I've just been watching a bunch of horror things through Minecraft, and they've been involved in like actual, they are doing something, a weird program it gets installed, and they physically, the people physically get abducted to physical locations.
Ooh.
Well, that sounds like a huge problem.
Yeah, but it's just like, one, they're fun, they're weird, interesting, and creepy, especially if you watch at night where by yourself in the dark. Like, uh, I I I walk around with my self-defense tool I have, which is a tactical spear that was just bought at like at a Tractor Supply. Like, that's what I walk around with if I feel uncomfortable, because it's actually a fairly good one for the house, because you got a lot of small corners and turns, so you're easier to react to things.
Okay, how about this? How about this? You guys ever heard about the moving stones in Death Valley?
No.
The moving stones of Death Valley.
Legit.
Oh, weird.
Like, they'll track these things, by the way, to make sure that they're not being moved by humans. There are stones in Death Valley that have trail marks that seem to move on their own.
Like, and those trail marks look similar to like what you'd find behind a glacier, but those are pieces of ice that's slowly shifting. That makes sense. But
I was wondering if it was like magnetic or something.
Ooh.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. This might even be better. This is a long-range picture of a bunch of them.
Oh, that's crazy.
I think Squiz on something with the magnetic. Maybe.
Magnetic or just like I would assume wind.
they
and,
only
like, maybe
moved in
on
two
sand, but still.
they only
Oh,
move in
wind.
two specific directions here. They're only moving down to the
Could be
bottom
magnetic,
corner
maybe with
specifically.
turn of the like tectonic plates. That is my theory.
But they're only in Death Valley, mind you. Only in Death Valley. And they seem to move like that, and they do not know why. Because here's the thing, they've tested the zones to see why they would move, but they don't have magnetic properties.
Have they
There's no
brought
magnetite or anything. Wow.
have they brought in other stones of the similar materials and placed them down to see if they moved?
They have and they haven't. It's stones that are naturally. There's something about Death Valley that caused them to move. And here's the thing, it's a steady pace. Like if
Like a constant
stone were
pull,
to move
kinda.
a little bit, no one would notice. But it's a steady pace. Like they can move up to. God, I haven't heard about these things in a long time. But apparently they can move up to 2 miles in a year. which is slow, yes, but again, it's a rock.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Well, that's weird. Just imagine you come by, like you're in there, you find a rock in there, you create like a little tower or something, and you come back like 3 months later, and it's a half a mile away. That is that is weird.
Hmm.
No. No.
Oh,
I think other things that are strange. Other strange or interesting natural landmarks. Ooh, what else? What else? What else?
Very
how about
accessible history.
the Dead Sea?
Oh
Oh, the
yeah.
Dead Sea is a good one with all the
Love
salt.
the
That
Dead
one's you can float in that. No, like no, you have to put conditioner on your hair first so
It it
your hair doesn't get all dried out. But like super
it,
crazy.
it has that high of a salt content.
Mm-hmm.
But the mud.
What's the sensory deprivation tanks? Reminds me of that.
Those are it's similar to the Dead Sea. Highly
Mhm.
salt water that you just float in. And
Yeah.
I don't think I could do that. Like, it is like, that sounds freaky to me.
Oh.
I would try it. I feel like part of me would enjoy it, part of me might get a little freaked out, but I won't know until I try it, I guess. Guys, fund our podcast so I can try a sensory deprivation tank and report back.
The reason why I bring up the Dead Sea is we all possibly know the story of Moses parted the. Oh wait, no, that's the Red Sea.
Yes.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Just a few
Anyway,
letters off.
the reason why I bring it up is because I was watching a show the other day that discusses about like historical moments and stuff, and could they be real? Could they not be real? It
Mhm.
brought up Moses and the Red Sea, and they think they have a reason of how it actually could have happened.
Mm-hmm.
So apparently, around the time that Moses was said to exist, there was a huge earthquake off the coast of Africa, caused by a volcanic eruption, specifically Krakatoa.
Oh.
So you're saying the eruption of Krakatoa coincided with Moses possibly splitting the Red Sea?
Because what would have happened is the explosion caused a tsunami, causing water to recede all over the planet.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the Red Sea is very close to where a huge tsunami happened off the coast of Africa. And recently, about 10-ish years ago, there was another tsunami, not around the size of Krakatoa, but there was a volcano that erupted near the coast of Africa that caused the Red Sea to part, because the Red Sea is divided by two separate fault lines. So one part of it is affected by coastal change, and the other one is affected by a different type of coastal change. So, in theory, the parting of the Red Sea could have been described because of a natural phenomenon where water from one side of the coast would suddenly recede.
Weird.
Oh my god.
And here's the thing, it would make sense why it would suddenly collapse after Moses and his people walk through, because, like a tsunami, unlike a tide, tides are predictable. Tsunamis are not. One moment you're fine, the next moment you're running for your life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I'll say this. Although you put a scientific reason for something heavily religious, that doesn't, for those who might get angry at this, that doesn't actually disprove that Moses didn't do something. Because don't forget, Moses did it through God's power. What's to say that isn't what that indirectly is what caused the eruption of Krakatoa, in turn, causing the split of the Red Sea?
Just to everyone, that this particular show I watch, it just never tries to denounce religion. It actually tries to use historical facts to prove that religious stuff like this could happen,
Hmm.
to try to put science into it, to be like, yeah, this actually happens because we have anecdotal evidence of how it could happen.
Yeah. Like, we're not trying to dissuade, say this is what happened. It's just like, this is something scientifically that helps prove it, correct?
Correct.
So,
They actually often get like a lot of religious historians and religious scientists because they don't want to like have somebody insulted, so they try to like prove it with historical facts, like, hey, you know this thing that everyone says couldn't have happened, well, here's evidence of why it can.
hmm and again, just because God does miracles doesn't mean he doesn't do things in ways that still make sense in physics. Think of it like a domino
Nature is
effect. He knows a Rube Goldberg actually is the best way to do it. You know what a Rube Goldberg is, right? A very
Mm-hmm.
complicated way to do a simple task.
They're usually called Rube Goldberg machines, and there's a really cool music video of somebody doing that.
Yeah, I'm saying,
Highly recommend.
what's to say that
nature
isn't God's way of doing things through his people?
nature all itself is about convoluted miracles and all the other things. A good example of that being
I think about butterflies and caterpillars. How caterpillars become goop and they somehow become butterflies after. I think that's crazy.
now, do you guys think butterflies and caterpillars are two different animals, or do you think they're the same animal, just with a different form?
It's
I would say same animal, different form.
it's weird though, because most animals don't go through a very drastic change like that, but at the same time, they're insects which aren't scientifically classified as animals technically.
Mm-hmm.
Animals,
Caterpillar
they
evolves into a butterfly, so or hatches into a butterfly. So I guess same animal, different form.
I still think it would be the same creature, just in a different form. But
I feel like same creature, different forms. I think just like I don't know. We always I think like well humans like grow such a small size. We like get rid of bones, which most of the creatures don't really do in the same way. Like get rid of our teeth, we lose our baby teeth.
well,
So I think drastic change is not outside life.
Yeah.
But it is quite interesting the way it happens with
Yeah.
caterpillars and butterflies and how the like the cells and everything know how to recollect themselves into this new thing.
And don't forget too that when a person is born, the skull is not a single bone. It's actually
Yeah.
like 4 or 5 different plates that over time fuse together into the one solid surface we have. They are not solid and they're very moldable, so the baby can actually pass through being birthed without as much problem.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys want to see something pretty?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Are these small things or these larger things?
Those are huge. If you look like really at the picture, there is literally a scientist standing on one of those crystals.
Oh, they're little. Yeah, there's actually a few. They're in like red and orange jumpsuits. I would say the
Yep.
picture is a little pixely for me, but once you know what to look for, yeah, you can see them.
These are the crystal caves in Nakia, Mexico. Large crystals. Now this crystal, there are caves like this all over the world, but the way these form and how these are so not the reason why they're wearing those hazmat suits is not because they're dangerous, is because these crystals are so sound sensitive, they resonate at a frequency that the slightest noise would cause a massive collapse of like the cavern. Like
So it's not to protect them, it's to prevent them. It's to prevent their sound from getting out, to muffle.
correct. No human other than certain scientists are allowed to come check this out. and it sucks because apparently like it is beautiful down there, and because of the way the crystals resonate, there is a constant like almost choir like hum that scientists have described as angels singing throughout the entire cavern.
That would be amazing to see. I'll say this. I'll say this topic, this episode, has actually reminded me of a show that I found a while back. To start off, everyone here knows Ghostbusters, correct?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the guy who plays Ray in the movies, Dan Aykroyd, he has a show that is called The Unbelievable with Dan Aykroyd, and each one of them's themed over different things, like unbelievable people or unbelievable places. This wasn't one of the places, but it's one that feels like it would be on his show. And another one that I, for the love of me, can't seem to find what it's called, but it is one that like calcifies things with it that fall into it very, very quickly, and it's a very deadly location. Like they are things of birds that look like they are just skeletons and bones, but no, it's a calcium buildup on their feathers and skin. At least I think it was calcium.
Hmm.
Like they,
It's
there
good.
is so many strange, eerie, and or wonderfully beautiful places in this world. Some of them are going strong, like that Crystal Cave seems to be fine, but then we're also losing some, like the Great Barrier Reef. I remember we've talked about it, and some of like places we want to go. Manatee, that's one of your bucket list items. Well, it's sad that it's got to be one of the things you need to do sooner than later, or else you might miss it.
Yep.
I mean, it's like I remember Mr. Beast a few years ago got with Mark Rober, and they did Team Seas, which definitely was helpful, but it's really more like just putting a bandage over a bullet wound. It doesn't do anything but just stop the bleeding for a minute. I, I'll say this: I'm not perfect when it comes down to doing things to help the environment. Every now and then I throw trash away. Sometimes I see it, but I don't fully register and pick it up. But we can agree with this. We all need to do a little bit more than what we do now to try to keep everything beautiful and eerie and interesting. Correct?
I do agree, yes.
A little goes a long way.
Mm-hmm.
We got about 2 minutes left. Does anybody else have some really cool, like last minute natural landmarks?
Uh,
No, not my moment.
nothing that isn't that already well known I can think of. I mean, like the Grand Canyon, for example, that's a great one, but it's one that everyone kind of knows. It's more fun to try to talk about these weird, interesting ones that aren't the most well known, or the massive, or on such a massive scale like the Ring of Fire. You got anything, Squid? Squid?
He's dead.
Oh no, Barracuda. Yeah, you might need to go Squid mouth to mouth.
Only with consent.
Mhm.
Eh, screw consent if it's to save him.
Depends on where you live. Because I don't. Damn, what the hell are those? There's something called Oh, Good Samaritan laws. I don't know if
Yes.
those. I have no idea if those exist in Massachusetts.
They do. Sorry, y'all. I'm getting real tired.
No,
But
you're good.
oof.
I think a Good Samaritan law is like a federal law, meaning it is within most states.
And I think like surrounding it might have different things, but
Yep.
But yeah, it's getting kind of like we started this recording this episode a little later than normal, so
mhm.
everyone feels like we're at a good spot to wrap up for tonight.
Yep,
Yep.
because we still have to discuss stuff for next week's Chopped episode.
Uh-huh.
But
So,
we will
good night, folks. Thanks for joining us.
Good
night, y'all.
night.